Hi folks, welcome along to this very, very special Rangers Ramble podcast where I'm delighted to be joined by a very good friend of mine, the main man behind the Blue Heart 1872 podcast, which unfortunately has been in hiatus this year for a variety of different reasons, but I'm I'm promised it will be back on the go for the start of next season because the boys have been badgering me to get it back on the go, so we'll be badgering Gary to get it started up again. So I'm delighted to be joined today by Gary Nicholl, who is the driving force behind the upcoming Lee Rigby Foundation charity match, which is getting played at Gig Lane in Bury. Gary, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Wilf. Thank you very much to Rangers Rabble for having me on. It's different. It's different for me, Wilf, to be invited on. It's usually me doing the opening bit and saying how you are. But thanks very much for having me on, mate.
No problem, Gary. Great you could join us. As I say, folks, the main reason I've got Gary on, Gary has since 2016 has organised a charity game once a year in aid of the Lee Rigby Foundation. Now we all know what happened to Lee in 2013 down in Woolwich, so we won't dwell too much on that. But this coming Saturday, the 24th of June, down in Gig Lane in Bury, which for those of the uninitiated is in Greater Manchester, is the Rangers Select versus the Northwest Superstars match, which is a bit of a change because up till now it's always been down in Portchester because Gary lives down on the south coast. So Gary, why are we going to Bury, which for me is terrific because it's a lot easier to get to?
Well, that's probably one of the main things, Wilf, is Bury obviously is a lot easier for the fans in Glasgow to get to. We've got to remember that Lee Rigby was born near the town of Bury, so that's probably a local football club for the family. And it was Lee's mum, Lynn, asked me, is there any chance we can get this game to Bury? Now, we all know what happened Bury. They went through something some of the Rangers have went through. And this will be the first proper match back at Gig Lane since the club is now back in the Football League. So it was a no-brainer to get the gig to Bury. You know, Bury are very professional in what they're doing. They're taking a lot of pressure off me. And obviously, big connection with Rangers at Bury. There's the amount of people from Bury. I've never known as many Rangers fans in Bury in my life, but we're everywhere around the world as it is. But the amount of messages I'm getting from Bury is unbelievable. So we're delighted to go to Bury next week.
Right, that's great. Well, as I say, from my point of view, great. I was lucky enough to be at the first game down in Portchester where my daughter was a mascot and walked out with Michael Knowles, which she still talks about, and it was absolutely brilliant. That's the first time I met yourself and Marlene.
Yeah,
that was magnificent, and the fact it's in Bury and the fact it's next Saturday is good for me as well because I'm actually going to a wedding reception 40 miles away that night, so logistically for me it works out really well. I've noticed from your social media channels that there's loads and loads of Rangers supporters clubs coming, and it's not just the English clubs, there's clubs from all over the place.
it's unbelievable. Well, honestly, I mean, I've got a bit of a list here, and I don't want to read them all out because I might leave some clubs out, but I mean, like Sydenham Loyal from East Belfast have 30 booked, they're coming over, 30 lads flying over. Obviously, Nottingham Loyal, Bolton, Stoke, Sheffield, Bournemouth, Haywood, the Glaswegian Loyal have a coach coming down, New Farm Loyal, Redditch Loyal just outside Birmingham, Blackpool True Blues. It's honestly, it's unbelievable the amount of flags that people are sent me to get their flags put out, you know. But that just shows the Rangers family what it's like, the size and the support.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned because obviously when you played the game down in Portchester, it was a Rangers sort of select against a Portsmouth Legends team. Now,
Yeah,
obviously that meant you got Portsmouth fans coming along to the game,
yeah,
whereas this time it's a Northwest Superstar, so it's not like you're playing
yeah.
Bury Legends or Blackpool Legends or whoever. So there's no draw for an opposition team to bring supporters in.
Yeah, I know that, but the amount, honestly, I mean, Bury, I've chatted to Bury 2 or 3 times a day about ticket sales, and the people of Bury is coming out because the people of Bury are coming out to support. They're not. A lot of people aren't interested in whether it's Rangers or who it is, but they're out to support Lee Rigby, and that's what it's about. That's what the people need to remember, you know, because there's a lot of people coming. So you've got Bolton, Blackburn, Bury. Them three clubs really probably don't like each other very much, but there's an element of all Rangers fans all together, and we all know why we're there for the day. So there's going to be, you know, there's no issues at all. That's all been sorted.
Yeah, is it? I only realised the other day it actually clashes with Armed Forces Day, and there'll be Armed Forces Day stuff on in Bury. Was that a conscious decision to have it that day, or was it just the date that became available?
Do you know what, Wolf? That was luck. I couldn't believe it when I when I set the date with Bury and somebody phoned me and says it's actually Armed Forces Day. So Bury itself's a military town, as you know,
Yeah.
and Bury's going to be absolutely rammed that day.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, folks, just for anybody that's thinking about maybe going down to the game, there are still tickets available on the Bury FC website. I mean, some of the legends that are playing, they'll run through some of the Rangers legends that we've got, and these aren't obviously, there may be for a variety of reasons, one or two of them might not make it, and there'll be other ones that probably can, that Gary will tell you about that I don't know about. But we've got Roy Carroll in goal. We've also got, I believe, Andy Goram's son Danny's obviously going to
Yeah, Danny.
take a wee shot between the sticks.
Yeah, well, it turns out for people that know, well, obviously Goalie himself was born in Bury, and Goalie's dad, Lewis Gorham, is a Bury legend.
That's right.
He played for Bury. So Danny lives near Bury, and it's a no-brainer for me to go and say, listen, Danny, will you come along and represent your dad on the day? And Danny's blown away. I know the Daily Record, Jeff Holmes has covered a bit on that. So Danny's going to be there. He'll do 15, 20 minutes. So he's looking forward to that.
Good. So we've got Danny Gorham, Roy Carroll, Alec Ray,
Yeah.
Marco Negri coming over from Italy, Michael Moles. The one that surprised me, Gary Nicholl, because he's older than me.
Well, Jimmy, he is, but Jimmy will be there, assisting Mark Haitley. I doubt Jimmy will actually play, but Jimmy's going to be there anyway, and he's speaking at night as well.
Good.
But
We'll get to that.
Yeah, and the big one for me, Wilf, and for the fans, is Sergio Perini.
Yeah, I was amazed when I saw that in the squad list. When you sent me the squad list, I went, Sergio Perini. That's because I don't think he's been involved in any of these kind of games at all.
Nothing at all. I mean, Nick, a few of the ex-Rangers players that know him message me and says, "You'll be lucky if you'll be lucky to get him," and they can't believe that he's doing it. So Sergio Perini's coming across from Milan. He flies over next Saturday morning. Brilliant. So Sergio's playing.
We've also got Neil Murray, Andy Little, some guys that the younger fans might remember. Tom Cowan, who I'll always remember for playing with a broken leg in the Aberdeen League side in '91.
Yeah.
Tom
Cowan,
sorry.
And sorry, Wolf, Tom Cowan, for anybody that doesn't know, is actually a fireman these days.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
In Sheffield, that's where he lives.
Yep. And we've got Clint Hill, John Flanagan. I think that's another great coup. Because I mean, John's still playing, or is he not?
No. Well, we have John Flanagan. Sadly, has had to drop out, and the reason why he's had to drop out is because John retired through injury, and the insurance company has said basically he can't play. Now he's devastated because he was really looking forward to getting out there, but the insurance company, obviously, if you retire young through injury, you're paid out a lot of money. Yeah. And if you go and play, then what they'll say is you're fit to play. So John Flanagan's had to drop out.
Well, that's a shame. And the other two that I've got on my list, and I'm absolutely thrilled that I'll be watching these two playing again, is Sasa Papac, Mr. 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And unbelievably, you've managed to get hold of Nikica Jelavic.
Yeah, Nikica Jelavic is coming across. He's big obviously for Rangers, but also Nikica Jelavic obviously went to Everton, and Everton's just across from Bury, so there's a lot of Everton fans coming to see Nikica Jelavic playing. Delighted to get Nikica. No problem at all with that guy. Straight away, yes, I'll definitely play. Same as Sasa Papac, two absolute gentlemen,
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably just thrilled to be invited to play, to represent Rangers, because they both loved it, seem to love it over here.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the two of them are coming over. Sasha lives in Split, and Nikica's in Zagreb. Now the two of them are coming over actually early doors, and they're staying down in London, so they're going to travel up from London together. So they're flying over. I think they fly over here Thursday, so they're having a bit of a holiday out of it.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be at an event when they were both at it was actually a 5 stars event that Tom Miller invited me to because he was hosting it in the Crown Plaza in Glasgow earlier this year or late last year. And Sasa and Nikica, it was their night, and they were absolutely brilliant. I mean, together they're, the humour and everything, they're really, so they'll be good value. I would imagine that a game like this, they'll be really good value on the park.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to I can't wait to I actually can't wait to meet the pair of them. So just been messaging back and forward on WhatsApp and all. But anyway, they're confirmed. They're definitely coming over.
Good. And I mean, looking at the Northwest superstars, a lot of the names aren't really known to me. There's one that jumps out straight away because there's the Rangers link there is Phil Barsley,
Phil
who was at
Barsley, yeah,
Rangers on loan from Man United back in the day.
yeah.
I remember,
Yeah, go ahead.
if I remember right, he his loan was cut short when he got a ridiculous red card against Hibs.
Yeah, and was there not something with Phil Barsley involved? Was it training with Paul Le Guen? Did Le Guen not have a rule, no tackling in training? Barsley smashed into somebody and he sent him back to Man United. Is that right?
Yeah, because that coincided. That was around about the same time as he was on a. I think he was on it. We were playing at Easter Road, and he was on a yellow card, and then he just went right through a guy for no apparent reason. Got him still his jotters, and Le Guen just went like, "You're not used to me. Away you go."
Well, he actually went on not to have a bad career because he went to Sunderland and Burnley. So Phil Barsley, but the big one for the Northwest obviously is Ricky Lambert.
Yep, I saw that. Yep,
Ricky Lambert went to the World Cup with England, didn't he? And obviously I know that played Southampton and Liverpool and then the World Cup with England. But quote me if I'm wrong, but did Ricky Lambert score his first touch for England against Scotland?
I believe he did. Yep, I believe he did. I'm not a big international fan, but I did do a little bit of research on this, and I did see that on Wikipedia that he scored his first touch for England. So.
Yeah, I know there's a few more names to be announced this week. Now, I'm not going to say who they are on here. I'll let Barry do that because that wouldn't be fair for me to. But
yep.
Barry are
the one that I think people might be interested, or the two that people might be interested in, and I recognise the names, and you probably know where I'm going with this, is Ben Morley and Anthony Johnson. Now I thought, why do I know those names? Then I looked into it, and they were the co-managers at Salford City when there was that documentary about Salford. You know,
yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
You know, that's two TV stars. I mean, what more do you want? You know what I mean?
I know.
You've got Gary, you've got me, and you've got two TV stars.
Brilliant, Wilf.
You know, so we've also I found quite strange. We've got Liam Smith, the boxer.
Liam Smith, the boxers. Yeah, he's a local lad to Bury, isn't he? So he's. I don't know how that's going to work because I think he's got a fight coming up soon. But anyway, he's going to come on, do a bit, play a bit. Yeah.
I mean, at least he's there. That'll attract the boxing fraternity, particularly because he's a local lad to Bury, and obviously Paul Dalglish.
Yeah, Kenny Dalglish's son. Yeah.
Kenny's son. Yeah. Other names that I've got here: Ryan Lowe.
Ryan Lowe, yeah, is a manager of. Well, the story about Ryan Lowe and how this goes is Ryan Lowe is actually one of Stephen Gerrard's best friends, and that's why we played Bury in the very first game, Gerrard's first game at Ibrox.
That's right.
Ryan Lowe was the manager, so I know Ryan Lowe has been tapping into Gerrard to see, but I don't know about the job what Stephen Gerrard's going to be doing, but they are very good mates. So that's how that came about to Bury up at Ibrox. But Ryan Lowe's an absolute. I know for you and me, Wilf, we look at our legends like Hateley and McCoist, but the people of Bury absolutely worship Ryan Lowe. You know, he is their golden boy. So he's there.
He's currently manager of Preston, isn't he? He's
manager of Preston, yeah. He's manager of Preston.
So you know, folks. So there's also the one that I forgot to mention. I believe he's guesting for Rangers. Is your good friend Matthew Le Tissier.
Matthew Le Tissier is guesting for Rangers, and also with him is Paul Merson. So,
all right, okay.
So we've got both Merson and Le Tissier. So anybody that's lucky enough to have a VIP ticket before the game, Merson and Le Tissier is doing a bit of a Q&A in the lounge with the players. A bit of a Sky Sports, so that should be interesting because I've seen the two of them before live, and the two of them together are excellent. So anybody that's lucky enough can enjoy Le Tissier and Merson. So Le Tissier's I seen him playing about 2 years ago for the Southampton Legends, and he can still knock a ball about, you know.
Yeah, I mean the thing with all these guys, they've maybe lost the pace, but they don't lose the brain. They
no.
Even if they just stand in the middle of the park spraying the ball about, you know, let all the youngsters like the Phil Barnsleys and let guys like that run about and chase balls about the place.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if we'll get more than I don't know about Merson, but we'll get more than 10 minutes out of Merson. But anyway, the two of them's going to guest for Rangers, so we're looking forward to having them.
So you mentioned VIP tickets here. Can you tell the watching public if there's any of these still available, and if they are, what it entails?
I'm sorry, folks, but if you haven't got a VIP ticket now, you're not getting one. They're totally gone. That's it. Obviously, the VIP was with the players' lounge before the game, Wilf, and then Matt Le Tissier and Paul Merson Q&A, plus the interviews with the ex-Rangers players and the other players there. And then at night, it is Jimmy Nicholl, Mark Hateley, and it's Nigel Spackman, because Trevor Stephen has dropped out because he's had a hernia up, so he can't be there. So Nigel Spackman's going to be doing the Q&A at night with Haitley and Jimmy Nicholl, which will be good. And David Tanner's hosting. Yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, it's unfortunate that everybody watching this wanting to go along last minute can't go VIP, but it's absolutely brilliant to hear that that's sold out. Because obviously that's where you make the big money for the charity, for the foundations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's also, I believe, going to be I know for a fact there's going to be a match programme put together by a mutual friend of ours, Jeff Holmes.
That's correct. Jeff's been working hard behind the scenes this last couple of weeks. Jeff done what Jeff always does. Sort of take it easy, Gary. We'll get it sorted. And then last week was panic stricken because he was looking for somebody to, I don't know, print it or whatever he was doing. But I think he's got that solved now. So Jeff.
He was looking for somebody to typeset it.
Is that what it was?
Social media. He's got it together. He sent me a picture of the front page of the programme just literally before we started recording.
Yeah.
Because I shared one of the things to the game on my Facebook, and Jeff said, really looking forward to the Armed Forces Day. It'll be a really good day. And I put back, I believe the programme will be worth purchasing, and he sent me the front page of the programme. So hopefully we'll use that as the thumbnail for this, but that depends if my technical guys get themselves sorted out. So also, if you can't make it along, I noticed Marlene message this morning, even if you can't make it along, buy yourself a ticket, because it all helps. It all helps the Lee Rigby Foundation.
So what we found is a lot of people are saying, listen, it's too far, I want to donate, what can I do? So what we have done is, if you can't go along to the game and you want to donate, if you want to buy a ticket, what we do is we get the ticket and we give that ticket out to Armed Forces people. So it's a freebie for them, it's a thank you. Or, my mate lives in Italy. He's working in Italy and he can't go. He bought a family ticket, sent it to me, and what he says is make sure that ticket goes to a family that maybe can't afford it, and give them a day out. So I've passed that ticket on. So all good. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, good. Absolutely. And also another thing, if you don't want to go down that route, you can also go onto the Macron website and purchase yourself one of these lovely Lee Rigby Foundation match shirts, which I bought because I'm going to the game. I thought I'm going to buy it. I think it's 40 quid posted to your door, and a tenner of that goes to the foundation.
Yeah.
So that's another way you can get a tangible reward for yourself, something that you can wear yourself and help the day at the same time. And they're very nice. They're very comfy.
Yeah. Well, there's £10 for every shirt goes. Macron have been more than good about this. They've done the kit now. I think this is the third year. They hand the kit over, and then they do that as in £10 for every shirt sale, and that can all be tracked. So, because I know this week Macron's had an email from somebody questioning the £10, why only £10? But by the time Macron make that kit, because they're not made in mass bulk, they're made to order. So by the time Macron make that and get it posted out to you, I think £10 is a good donation from it.
Yeah, I think it is when they're opening, when it's only going to cost you 40 quid and that's posted to your door. The fact that, Macron's only using £30 of that, I think it's an absolutely fantastic deal. It really is.
Yeah.
So, obviously, folks, the main reason for doing this and speaking to Gary today is to make you aware of the game if you're not already. It is at Gig Lane on Saturday, the 24th of June, 3 o'clock kickoff. If the weather's the way it has been, fantastic day out. Bury's only Greater Manchester. What's that? 3 hours from Glasgow. It's not far.
Yeah.
Cracking day out. Tickets are £15 for adults, £5 for kids, 35 quid for a family ticket, which I believe is 2 adults and 2 kids.
Yeah.
Your match programme is going to be £3 quid, so you got a cracking day out. It'll also be good for Bury. There's not been, as Gary said earlier, there's not been football of any sort at Gig Lane for about 4 years.
No.
So it's a brand new laid pitch, newly tarted up stadium.
Yeah.
Brilliant for everybody involved in Bury as well. Having that. So Gary, anything else you want to tell us about your big day on Saturday?
No, well, if I just want obviously people to come out and enjoy it. I say if you haven't bought your ticket yet, and you get your ticket bought, get yourself down to Bury. If you can't get down to Bury, then if you get the ticket sent to us, we'll make sure somebody gets it that's in need of a ticket. And I say it's like every year, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, this game, and obviously the Rangers family again, the support from Rangers, unbelievable, the fans, and Lynn Rigby herself has always said that to me, and she'll repeat it. The Rangers was the first club to come along at the time of the murder of Lee and offer any sort of, because they flew the family straight up to Rangers for a bit of a tour and a bit of a day out. So the Rangers support, amazing as always, Wilf, as you know. Doesn't matter whereabouts in the world you go, there's Rangers flags, Rangers shirts. And I know Matt Letizier's looking forward to seeing that. Because I think he's going to be him and Merson, a bit blown away by the amount of support from Rangers, because, as somebody said to me, if you took a Southampton team, a Portsmouth team, I don't care, any of them, and took them up to Scotland and played, they would not get the numbers that we get.
No, that's 100% right. I mean, like I say, I was lucky enough to be at the first one in Portchester, and I mean that was great. But again, that was a lot of bears from down the south coast and down London sort of neck of the woods. The fact that this is in the northwest, I think it's going to be brilliant, because, as you said earlier, you've got all those supporters clubs from basically from all over England, plus guys coming down from Scotland. I know of a couple of guys coming down from Aberdeen as well, pals of mine that are making their own way down, and I'll see down there. So I mean, there's folk coming from all over the place, and it's from the support and also from the Lee Rigby Foundation. I don't like speaking on behalf of other people, but it's got to be a huge thanks to you for organising this, for putting this together, because it can't be easy.
No, it's not easy, but it gets easier every year, Wilf. Obviously, Bury's taking a lot of the pressure off me. They're sorting all the ticketing out, the lounges, everything. That's what they do in it. So basically, I try and get the players I can get. Try and tap into different players every year.
Thing is, it's a good pre-season for Bury as well, because, as we say, they've not had a game at Gigleen in 4 years, and they're going to be playing every weekend there, or every other weekend there now. So it's a good dry run for them, if you like, and they'll probably not get the sort of crowds that they're going to get next week.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what they said, and it's what they told. Obviously, the police were involved in this, so they told the police and saying to the police, like, basically, this is a chance now to see a dry run for us. So I know Bury. I joked with them this morning about make sure you've got Iron Brew in there, because the jocks will go nuts if there's no Iron Brew. So the Iron Brew's coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. Years, and you talking about Ryan Lowe at Preston. I remember a few years ago I was on holiday at Preston for a few days before I went over to a wedding in Belfast, and we'd been at Blackpool with them. We took it to the Pleasure Beach, and we came back to Preston, and Preston were playing Blackburn in a pre-season game, and I thought we'll go to that because it's a game of football. Right? And we came out the train station at Preston, and there's police absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
And hold on, this is pre-season. And I spoke to one of the police about, look, we need a pre-season as well. So they treated it like a pre-season, like their pre-season.
Yeah.
So this game next Saturday will be like Bury's pre-season, because it probably is a bigger attendance than they'll get. It's probably more hospitality than they would sell on an average game. When they go back to games there. So you're doing everybody a favour here. And as I say, the important thing is you're helping out the Lee Rigby Foundation, which we can't do enough for, because what happened to Lee was an absolute tragedy.
Yeah, that's it. And also, obviously, I've got to say thank you to our sponsors, and obviously that's Chris Somerville from Frontline Kit. Obviously, at the front of your kit, your Rangers shirt. There
we go.
Chris Somerville supported this game every year. Chris has been there, so thank you to Chris. Obviously, John Jordan at Carrick Packaging is a match sponsor as well. So obviously, we know Carrick Packaging is involved with the Rangers B team.
Yep.
And Paul Crawford from the Thornton Sweet Loyal sponsoring the match ball. So obviously, this game, people think, I just left the phone, ring players, and players just rock up. It doesn't work like that, So all the sponsors that comes in is a great help to us, because that lets us go and get flights and get travel arrangements and get it all done early doors to get the players here. So very happy with that, and thank you to them three guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to those guys and those companies. So that's it, folks. If you're at a loose end next Saturday, the 24th of June, get yourself down to Bury. It's in Greater Manchester. Might just have a weekend in Manchester or a weekend in Liverpool, because Liverpool's not that far away. Saturday afternoon, 3:00. We're all itching to watch live football, because international football's just not the same. No. I can't wait. I mean, we're all desperate for the season to finish, but we're now all desperate for the season to come back. So I personally can't wait to watch live football next Saturday. So, Gary, I'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for doing this.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Wolf, and of course the Rangers Rabble for having me on, and hopefully we get the Blue Heart back next start of next season, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll get that back. Stuart and John have been on to me saying we need to get this back, so we'll need to get that back. So once again, folks, thanks very much for your time. I hope this was informative for you. And even if you can't get along to the game, if you can donate to the Lee Rigby Foundation any way you can, it would be gratefully received and faithfully applied. Thanks very much indeed.